Hello and welcome back to more Katawa Shoujo. I've just noticed these little pictures here. Have we been collecting those? Are they the chapters? I only really noticed because of this naked torso one. Hopefully we'll get a bit of that action coming right at ya. His past. Oh no, looks like Hisayo's just gonna complain a little more. Oh well. The library, while not humming with activity, is noticeably more busy than usual. Exams are not far away, and that's reflected in the number of students burying their noses in textbooks at the tables around us. I've been studying quite a lot in the past few days, just like them, in hope of doing well in the exams. This also means that Hanako and I have been playing games less, so she's been studying as well, just to fill in the time. Well, that's a good thing. Nevertheless, I find myself forsaken by her on this particular day. The textbook in front of me has remained on the same page for some time. After so much reading on the subjects, I couldn't care less about it if not for the exams. My mind is beginning to wander. Yeah, I know them feels. I find my eyes flicking over to where Hanako would usually be, just like on the days she wasn't in class. Oh god, here we go again. It was here that we first really met. I tried to start a conversation with her. She got skittish and eventually bolted from the room altogether. I probably shouldn't smile about it, but it's kind of amusing in hindsight. Nowadays, it's more and more difficult to imagine her doing such a thing. Even with Lily gone, she's been doing really well now that she's come out of her room. I want to talk with her, or at least play another game of chess. I'm tired of studying, and it's been a few days since we've really done anything together. The question of where to find Hanako isn't a particularly difficult one. If she's not in the library, chances are that she's either in the tea room for some peace and quiet, or in her dormitory room. Deciding to check them in that order, I pack up my books and make my way out of the library. I stretch and give a loud groan as I walk down the hallway. Studying may be frustrating at times, but with the progress I feel I've made, there is also some sense of pride in getting it done. It's a good feeling. This is the dorm room. You said you were doing it in order. Don't lie to me, bitch. There isn't a sound to be heard from inside as I stand in front of the door to Hanako's room. I guess that isn't very indicative of whether she's inside or not, given how quiet she usually is. Still, she wasn't in the tea room. Okay, we've already been to the tea room. Fair enough. I try knocking lightly to make my presence known, but I'm surprised when I find the door unlocked and yielding at my touch, so I just let myself in. With a small creak, the door opens. It looks like my suspicions were correct. Hanako is indeed here. She is indeed. She looks utterly oblivious to my presence. With her head thoughtfully resting on her hand, she looks calm and collected. It's a shame she can't look like this more often. "Ooh, hi girl." Smiling a little, I walk to the table and softly speak to her. "Good evening, Hanako." Hanako's head turns a little to see me, but she's still only half there. I put a hand on the table and lower my head to better look at her face, mildly curious about what mood she's in. "What's up?" She gasps a little, finally acknowledging my presence in the room for the first time. Hanako's blushing really heavily. Her mouth is open just a little, as if paused mid-sentence. Most striking, though, is what she's doing. Okay, we're getting really up in her grill now. She's looking directly at me. Yeah, she is. It's kind of spooky. Her eyes are pinned on my own from such a close distance that I can almost see my reflection in them. They don't turn away, nor move at all. They're absolutely still, just looking into mine. Are we gonna kiss? I feel like I'm seeing something behind those eyes that I never saw before. I don't know what it is, though. "Hanako?" Her lips move just a little, silently mouthing something. She looks like she's on the verge of saying something, but won't say it. But that's the way that Hanako always is, on the verge of saying something, but never quite doing it. As I look intently into her eyes, I realize something. Everyone has their own thoughts. So observant, Hisayo. Everyone has thoughts. Wow. Wow, you're so deep. Things they want to say, their own worldview. But I can't work out what Hanako wants to say, and I can't work out what she's thinking. It's so frustrating. Tell me about it. It feels like I don't know her at all. Shut the fuck up. It's always the same shit. Despite all the time we've spent together. Yeah, we know. Hisayo? It's only now that I find myself blushing. I've been looking directly into Hanako's eyes from such a short distance with absolutely no regard for her, and she's been looking into mine without shrinking away. I quickly look away while covering my face with my hand. Hanako does just the same. Oh my god. Another awkward silence reigns. I hate these. At first I accepted them as just being a fact of life around Hanako, but now all I feel like is an affirmation of how little we're able to communicate. Yeah, I'm starting to think that maybe they weren't the best couple. I don't know, I was just instantly drawn to Hanako myself, personally. But in terms of like Hiseo and his development and the storyline, I'm not sure this was the most exciting path we could have taken. We might have to try again with another girl. We'll see. Wait, did I read that whole thing? Yeah, we can't communicate. Which is not a good sign for the rest of our relationship if we can't communicate. Some anger makes its way in the complex mixture of emotions I'm experiencing right now. I want to bridge that gap between us. Friends shouldn't have to tiptoe around each other like this. I speak before I can argue myself out of what I'm going to do. My scarring isn't as bad as Hanako's, and I can't possibly compare my life to hers, but I want to show her that she's not alone. Oh, we're gonna get Nikki. Doing this in such a blunt manner might be the only way to get my point across. Hanako, I want to show you something. I take a deep breath to prepare myself. This could backfire badly, but I feel as if we've come close enough for this to be okay. Really? Because like literally 30 seconds ago you were complaining that you're not close enough and you're never able to communicate properly. I'm not going to strip naked or anything weird. I'm just going to take off my shirt. Hanako's eyes grow to the size of saucers. Her face is an amusing mixture of curiosity and nervousness as she stands. I'm trying to mentally block out Hanako to make this easier, but it's not really working. As I work my way down, I expect to hear some form of protest from her. She remains silent, though, which just makes this feel even stranger. She wants it. She wants my body. With the last of my shirt unbuttoned, I take a breath and look at her. Hanako's gaze is fixed on my scarring, as expected, and once I nod to say it's okay, she steps forward and tentatively places her hand on the vertical line running down my chest. Oh, she's touching our naked body. She actually is. Oh, okay. I can see how this would bring us closer. This is a good move. We've done well. The scarring on her hand, a pattern of damaged skin across its surface, contrasts with the single uniform line that makes up mine. Her hand isn't trembling at all, unlike what I predicted. She's interested. This is the scar from the surgery that followed my heart attack. The surgeons had to cut my chest to operate on my heart. I never knew. Hanako's words are calmer and softer than usual. The soft feeling of her fingers moving from my scar to my breast makes me hesitate a little before continuing on. You're the first person to see this since I left the hospital. But why are you showing this to me? Because I want us to be lovers. I wanted to prove to myself that I could do this, that I could accept my past and move on. I wanted to show that to you as well. She nods. From her reactions, she seems to know how difficult this is for me. More than anything, the scar represents a visible reminder of my condition, a reminder that I'm not normal anymore. That's something that, until now, I'd tried my hardest to ignore. As the minutes tick by, Hanako's gaze lingers. Her eyes look less focused on my scarring than before. The situation feels a bit different than it previously did. It makes me feel slightly uncomfortable. I'm always slightly uncomfortable. Nothing new there. Her hand retreats, and I draw my shirt closed and begin to button it up. Her blushing face suddenly returns to its typical tense and timid state as she looks away. The room is completely silent as I fix my shirt and tie, feeling put off after such an unexpectedly intimate moment. You chose to do it! Why are you the one that's put off about it? So, I guess you're not the only one that's scarred. Hanako smiles a little at the joke, thankfully lightening the atmosphere a bit. Thank you, Hiseo. I think I understand. I give a long sigh of relief. I really didn't know how she'd take it, but I'm glad everything seems to have worked out as I hoped. Hanako's smile only proves that further. I'm finding the path that I want to follow now, and what Hanako needs to do is find her own. It's something I can't help her with, and it's something that she needs to overcome her past in order to do. Okay, we're learning. We actually are learning. This is awesome. This is a step in the right direction. Hanako checks her watch. It's getting late by now. Hisayo, yeah, I'd better be going. I'll be thankful for some sleep. It's been a long day after all. Good night, Hanako. Good night. I make my way out of her room and into the hallway, remaining silent as I do so. I think both of us have gone through a few emotions today. And we're going to keep those emotions rolling. We'll keep going, because I feel like we're really, really close to the end. I really hope so anyway. That was a nice moment. It was a really nice moment. Let's hope it continues. Okay, we've got a city outing, I guess. The heat of the summertime sun beats down on my sweating brow. Dabbing with a handkerchief doesn't help too much in making me any more comfortable. Sexy. I realize that I've begun to wheeze. Oh my god, we're so fit and healthy. Picture of perfection. I sound like an old man that's overexerted himself, and having to connect that to the fact that I'm the source is a bit disturbing. Yeah, well, you should have been bloody running, mate. I've told you this from day one. I put a hand to my chest and concentrate for a bit to make sure I haven't gone far enough to cause any further problems. Thankfully, my heart is acting normally. There's no dull pain and the beating is regular, albeit fast-paced, as I recovered from overdoing things in this kind of heat. Oh, true, yeah, it's not necessarily his fault. It's pretty hot by the sounds of it. I hate my body. It's frustrating to be held back, even more to be held back by my fear of my life being ended when doing something as simple as walking around the city for a while. Yeah, I still don't think we've got it as badly as some of the others. As I ponder on my health, I feel my pockets vibrating. By the time my phone's begun to ring, my hand is already fishing for it. A glance at the screen shows a caller number I don't recognize. Strange. Who is it? Can't be Lily. Hello? Hisayo Nakai speaking. Just breathing can be heard? The sound of a couple of short breaths can be heard, but no actual speech is forthcoming. This is fucking weird. Hello? Oh, Hanako! Hisayo? Hanako, why are you being such a fucking creep? Her voice is really easy to place, even if I've never heard it over a phone before. Hanako? Sorry, I wasn't expecting you to call. What's up? Well, if you're not busy, I was wondering if you would like to meet up? Yeah, yeah. She sounds really wound up about this. I can hear muffled voices in the background, and it's about time for afternoon tea, so I guess you'll want me to meet her at the Shanghai or something. Well, that sounds fine. Are you at the Shanghai? I'm in the city. Are you stalking me? What are you doing here? Hanako's here? Alone? That's a surprise. It's a little wonder she's like this, if she's surrounded by people and entirely by herself. Oh, that works out well. I'm just wandering around there now. Where are you? Why don't you go together? Hanako manages to stammer out the street name, address, and some basic directions to where she is. Luckily, it's not too far, so I agree to see her soon before hanging up. I look up to the sky. The summer heat is beating down. We know. This is the first time Hanako's asked for us to do something together beyond a simple board game, and the first time, at least since I've known her, that she's come to the city all by herself. Maybe this means that Lily was right. Lily's always right. By the time I manage to stagger up to the cafe where Hanako is, woo, that's a coincidence that she just happens to be at the same cafe that me and Lily went to. I've started to wheeze again. I'm sweating so much that I feel like a melting popsicle, and I can barely hold the bag in my hand. Maybe meeting up with her when we're in this condition isn't a good idea. We don't sound exactly the most attractive right now. I need to sit down. Badly. The tables outside are all occupied by busily chatting couples and girls gossiping between themselves. The contrast between the different age groups and fashions of the people here and the people from the town near Yamaku is striking. I scan over the people sitting at the tables, but I can't see Hanako. She did say she was sitting outside, so I must just be missing her. Not difficult, given how small she usually tries to make her presence. I look around again, more slowly this time, taking particular care to see if I can find Hanako's hat. It's pretty distinctive, and I'd be very surprised if she wasn't wearing it. There she is, sure enough. Her head is kept low, and the table she's sitting at is right beside the building in an inconspicuous corner. I walk up to where she is and make sure that I have her attention before I sit, lest I give her a scare. She notices me and gives a small wave as I arrive at her table. Are you feeling okay? You look a little bit shit. I try my best to laugh it off, but doing so just makes me more out of breath. Not very fit these days. Don't mind me. Hanako nods, but still looks a bit put off. I would be too. Now that I can get a good look at her face, something about her seems a bit different. I'm not sure if my eyes are playing tricks on me, but she looks kind of nice. She always has looked nice. Her eyes move to look at me before quickly flickering down again. I begin to think this is going to be a rather quiet meeting, but a waitress thankfully arrives and sets down a cup of tea in front of Hanako. Hanako almost automatically turns slightly away and lowers the side of her head. It's an amazingly practiced motion, and does a good job of its intended purpose, hiding her scars from anyone who's leaning in close. Her right arm is laying on the table, though, with the scarring at the back of her hand quite visible. It catches the waitress's eye, and I move to quickly distract her. Excuse me, may I place an order? Excuse me, may I place an order? He sounds like the shopkeeper from Othello's Antiques. The waitress nods and gives me a couple of seconds to look at the menu. Could I have a mango smoothie, please? She gives a nod before almost enthusiastically bouncing inside. Everything is so different in this city, in more ways than one. Hanako looks back towards me and adjusts her head a little. If she noticed the waitress staring at her scars, she doesn't show it. Not coffee? I think I'd die from heat if I had something like coffee right now. Probably. At least we know our limitations. Actually, do you know what? I feel like a heart attack might be exactly what we need in order to get Hanako to recognize her feelings for us. That's quite morbid. Let's not do that. Resting my head in my hand, I look to my quiet companion. She seems to be taken aback. A very unexpected reaction to my lame joke. An unwelcome emotion bubbles up inside me as I realize her reason why. Unlike most in Yamaku, indeed, unlike anyone there that I'm aware of, my condition goes beyond limiting the activities I can do. Or, to be more precise, breaching those limits could have more grave consequences. Nice pun. Thankfully, it's something that very rarely comes up since I entered Yamaku. I thought that it was so rare that Hanako and Lily might not think of it at all. It turns out I was wrong. Well, it's happened twice in front of Lily. Once when we tried to walk up a hill, and the other time when Amy bumped into us. Eventually, the same waitress as before bounces up, handing me my drink. I gather change from my pocket and drop it into her waiting hand before she goes off to attend to another customer. My eyes linger on her as she walks away. Is she sexy? Are you looking at her butt? Do you think that she looks pretty? Hanako is following my gaze, her eyes taking in the waitress that served us. I can feel my blood slowly going to my cheeks as I rest my smoothie back on the table. Nah, can't really say I'm really into that look. She just looked a little like an old friend I knew before my heart attack. You wanna call? Did you have many friends? I had a few at my previous school, though I wouldn't say a lot. The four of us just hung around together after school and stuff. Four's a lot. Do you still talk to them? I shake my head. No, we gradually lost contact while I was stuck in the hospital. Then they're not your friends. You're not saddened by that? Or angry? Hanako looks genuinely surprised. I guess it's the right reaction. Well, life did move on for them too when I was stuck in the ward. I was pretty sore about it at the time, but now it's just a bunch of nice memories. Besides, once I came to Yamaku, I found new friends as well. That's quite a whitewash of what my feelings were back then. I went through some dark times during my stay in the hospital, and I'm really glad that Hanako and Lily were around to help me after I left. Hanako blushes as we both get down to enjoying our drinks. She seems to have calmed down since I arrived, and I've started to feel a little better now that I've had the chance to rest a bit, so this is going to be a nice outing already. Even if she's calmer than before, though, she's still fidgeting a bit. She runs her hand down one of her bangs as I try to think of something to say. Oh, that's right. I was gonna ask. Hanako tilts her head quizzically. I didn't know you had a mobile phone. How'd you get my number? Lily gave it to me. I should have guessed. You know, you could have just asked. I would have given it to you. Want to exchange email addresses? So romantic. Look at you charmer. Hanako nods, setting down her drink and fishing out her phone from her pocket as I do the same. It's, surprisingly, the same model as mine. Pink, though. Nice phone. She looks to me with a curious expression before noticing my phone and giggling. It's one of the very few times I've seen Hanako let her guard down enough to do such a thing. I didn't pick it out myself, though. Oh? It was a present from Lily. Did she get it because it's the same model as mine? I never really needed a phone, and I couldn't afford one. She bought me one for Christmas, though, saying that we could use it to keep in touch. They see each other basically every day anyway, both in and out of school. Then again, Lily does have her class representative duties and other friends that she talks with. It'd probably help for situations like this too, when she's gone away for a while. Lily's a very special person to you, isn't she? No shit, Sherlock. She is. I love her very much. Hanako looks down and smiles as she thinks of her. None of my friendships were as deep as theirs, and I have to admit to myself that I'm a little jealous of their relationship. Plot twist, Hanako and Lily are actually lesbians, and Hisao has no chance with either of them. We tell each other our email addresses and thumb them into our respective phones, and I get Hanako's number from earlier and put it in my contacts list. Done. That makes 3 now. 3 contacts? Really? Lily, Akira, and you. Ah, Akira. She's an interesting person, isn't she? She is. She's also really nice, though, and her suit makes her look a bit cool. I'm a little surprised you know each other well, what with her job taking up so much of her time. Hanako looks down a little and takes another sip of her drink. If I wasn't looking intently at her face, I'd have missed the small smile perched on it. I guess when she knows so few people, those people she does know mean a lot to her. How many do you have? Me? About 9 or 10. I hesitate to go into them for fear of rubbing in the fact that Hanako doesn't have parents, or apparently even close relatives. 2 of those are Shizune and Misha too, which is another can of worms. Probably Iwanako as well? Maybe not actually. I imagine that Lily would have more than both of us put together, probably. Hanako gives a childish giggle, and I can't help but smile. It's a good feeling that she's gotten this comfortable around me. At times like this, I feel like I'm getting close to talking to her true self. Hey, do you mind if I ask something that I've been wondering? Hanako shakes her head as she takes a last sip of her tea, finishing it off. You don't seem very jealous of Lily having lots of friends. Don't you want to make some more friends yourself, or get to know some of hers? I'm not jealous. I don't like people, so I don't mind not having many friends. I feel you, girl. That's not really the answer I was expecting. She doesn't look fearful or sad as she says this, but rather quite serious. In middle school, I got bullied a lot. I was called names. I got excluded from work groups and sports teams. There were worse things, too. And that's what made you not like other people? She shakes her head. That was elementary school. Oh, you poor thing. I feel bad for bringing this up now. Adults have enough problems dealing with Hanako's scarring. Children would be all the worse. I had assumed that the way she tried to make her presence not felt was just to avoid people staring at her, or because she was afraid of them. Certainly not because she genuinely didn't want to interact with them in the first place as well. I noticed the condensation from my neglected smoothie forming a little puddle around the bottom of the cup, so I take the opportunity to finish it off. As I drink, she begins to fiddle with her phone. It looks like she's remembered the people around her again and begun to tense up. It's not exactly a cheap phone. I had to save up quite a while to afford one when I got mine. If Lily went to private school, she probably wouldn't have too much trouble getting one for a present, though. Watching her fiddle with it gives me an idea. Hey, Hanako, wait for me. I'll be right back. I put the now empty cup down, slip my phone into my pocket, and begin to move off, carefully stepping around the bag I'd placed beside my feet. Thankfully, sitting around while talking to Hanako has helped me feel a little better than before. Wait, what? Where are you going? Just stay here. I'll be back in a bit. Where are we going? As much as I'd have liked to have jogged back, I know full well I couldn't. I end up walking back to the cafe, a little blue bag in my right hand. Hanako notices me quickly, looking about as confused as she did when I left. I deposit the diminutive bag in front of her and sit back down. Is this? It's for you. You can open it. But, go on. She looks very unsure about it, but eventually gives in, slowly opening the bag and picking out its contents. I'm a little unsure about it too, to be honest. Oh, it's a phone charm. Oh, and is that a lily? Is it a lily? I'm not actually sure if it is or not, but if it is, that is so sweet. A small chain phone strap dangles from her fingers, ending in a delicate flower. It isn't exactly a masterwork of jewelry, but it's about as much as I could afford. Hanako's eyes light up when she looks at it. It's the kind of reaction I was hoping for. The summer sun's light glints off the silver as it twists to and fro a little. It's not too ostentatious, but still looks a little charming. I think it suits her well. It actually does. It's very cute. Hanako lowers the phone strap to the table and looks to me once more. But it's not Christmas or my birthday. It's fine, don't worry about it. I just thought it might be nice to have something to decorate your phone with. I don't have anything to give to you. How about a kiss? But no, I mean, it's fine. Friends can just give each other things sometimes, right? Friends. Hanako lowers her face so much that I can't see her expression. She inevitably nods before taking her phone and fiddling with the strap to attach it properly. Oh my god, it looks so cute. It's perfect. It's perfect. She looks to me and smiles as she holds up her phone, now adorned with a little flower. Thank you, Hiseo. You're welcome. I love you. Her smile proves infectious. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice a couple getting up and leaving. That reminds me that the bus back to town below Yamaku will be coming soon. Well, I guess I better get going if I want to catch the next bus to town. You coming as well? Ah, yeah. She hastily nods before carefully putting her phone back into her pocket and getting out of her chair. I do the same and pick up the bag I'd left beside me on the way out. We walk side by side as we make our way to the bus station, exchanging no words between us. Hanako's gaze is firmly locked ahead of her, though she looks very happy with herself. She's so adorable. I'm not sure what I should say to her, but I'm also not sure that I need to say anything. The fact that Hanako is happy, and happy because of me, is enough to make the load on my arm feel light as a feather. That is so freaking cute. I love it. That is the perfect place to end. Right there, right there. That was probably my favorite episode ever. I just love the fact that we just hung out and it was nice and no one was overthinking anything. Or Hiseo did kind of half die at one point there, but that was really, really adorable. And it seems that, I know I say this every time, but it seems like our relationship with Hanako really is moving in the right direction this time. So, if you enjoyed that episode, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I shall see you next time for more, possibly the end of Katawa Shoujo. Jane!